today, whatever I have learned in 13 years, I have tried to concise it in 3 hours. I'm trying to make astrohomeopathy as simple as possible, so that even from the slides, even if you don't know astrology, you just have a software. You have a homeopathic software, you have a astrology software, and you have the date of birth of the patient. You will be able to treat at least 50% of your patients, or you will be able to come to a conclusion with 50% of patients. After your case taking, you'll be able to identify them. What would be their predispositions? What would be their fundamental miasm? What could be their acute state? When to change the remedy and why to change the remedy. Of course, as I said, always, the case taking of a person and homeopathic case taking becomes the first objective. You are going to use this tool only to differentiate remedies. You are not going to use this tool to prescribe any remedies, at least at this stage. This is basics what I have taught you till now. Majority of you are my old students, and some of who are not joined. I'll be sharing the recording on YouTube as well as on this group. So let's start. I'm just sharing you the PowerPoint. Okay. See, the most important challenge for all homeopaths is that we don't have any diagnostic tools. Like in allopathy, okay, if you got diabetes, first check your blood sugar. The physician knows that you are having diabetes. Okay, if your blood sugar is elevated, if you get a CBC done, you know there is an infection. In homeopathy, we don't have any tools other than a PC from where whatever we input, we repertorize the case and we come to a conclusion. So the problem is that a patient goes to different homeopaths, good homeopaths. Still, you will find that they're prescribing different remedies. Because everybody perceives a patient in a different fashion. So I always tell my students or whoever have attended my lectures before, in Doordarshan, we used to see a advertisement, so where there were 5-6 people who were blindfolded and they were shown an elephant. So somebody used to hold the trunk, hold the nose of the elephant and used to tell, okay, it's a snake. Somebody used to hold the leg, he used to say it is a trunk. Somebody used to sit on it and say it's a camel. So all were right, but they were not able to, they were all blindfolded and they were not able to see the elephant as a whole, and that was a problem. So even though all are good homeopaths, all analyze a case in a very proper fashion, but the entry point is different from every homeopath, or it becomes different because we all concentrate on mind. So for somebody, it may be an emotional person, somebody it may be a diligent person, somebody it may be a conscientious, somebody may be not conscious. So we get, especially at a student level, we tend to get confused. So this methodology, as I told you, has helped me to be sure of the understanding of the patient, if not the remedy. Remedy comes secondary. At least from this concept, I'm able to understand the patient. So how do we analyze a case? First of all, proper case taking is very important. Then the original unmodified picture, what we call, or we call the GCS, or genetic constitutional simillimum. That is your birth chart. Birth chart means, as I have explained before, it is the placements of planets when you are born, at exact time when you are born, at what latitude, what longitude, what place. So that is your birth chart, that is your genetic chart. Then you have got a present picture. That is what we see by transit. That is what is the present planetary position for that person. So the concept in 30 years I have learned is always you cannot give a GCS. Or a remedy which is based on original unmodified picture. You will have to consider the state of the person. First, the state has to be treated. Then you will give a constitutional remedy. Well, the concept which we had, the constitutional remedy remains the same right from your birth till when you die. No, that is not the case. This is another concept which I understood. So now how astrology helps us? Like I told you, first of all, you have to take the proper case taking. You have to understand the birth chart of a person. Then suppose the person is suffering from a serious disease now, so you have to understand the dashas, or the period which is he is going through, and the placement of planets at present. Then what is the fundamental miasm of the person? Fundamental miasm means in which it was Sora, psychosis, syphilis, like what we understand. So from the birth chart, you know whether there are many planets in fiery signs, earthy signs, windy signs, or watery signs. And the current miasm, that is planet dependent. So I'll explain you all these factors. Once you are able to understand this, see, this is only for my students who have learned from me, or who know astrology. For somebody new, it is Greek and Latin. Okay, so now this is a chart. This is called a birth chart. This is a birth chart of a 52 years old person. And today from Lagna, this is the transit chart. This is today's chart now at 10 a.m. approximately. And this is the dashas. Dashas means what the period the person is going through. Now from this birth chart, I have prescribed X remedy. Let's say I have prescribed in calcarea floor as a constitutional remedy. And he came to me around 4 days back. The same remedy was not working. Now I tried to understand why it is not working with the constitutional remedy, or even I had given a phenotypic or a dasha remedy, which was not working. So then what you tend to do, you tend to change the complete remedy, or you change the remedy completely. And then you think that your analysis or your constitutional analysis was wrong. And you go to a new remedy and you forget about the old remedy. This is what I used to do before. Then after understanding today's chart or transit chart, like you can see, this is the 6th house of a person. Sixth house is one number, that is Mesha or Aries. So today's transit or the transit since past 10-15 days, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in the sixth house. And that too a movable sign and a fiery sign. So the constitutional remedy is not because at the present transit position is so bad that the original state of the person is gone and you are presented with a completely new state. So we know, okay, Baba, why is he getting this new state? So I analyzed his symptoms. I went through what are his complementary remedies. So it was a fiery sign where you have got Sun, where you have got Rahu, where you have got Mercury, Jupiter all together. And he was snappish. I gave him Nux Vomica, which ideally he is not a very ambitious person, which ideally he's an industrious, but not a ambitious or not a risk-taking person. I gave him Nux Vomica. Within 2 days, he is better by nearly 80%. So even though it's a phenotypic or it is a transit remedy, and it is not even an acute remedy because this state is going to remain in him for till at least 14th January. Sorry, 14th May. Because after 14th May, all these planets are going to shift. So till 14th May, he may require Nux Vomica in infrequent doses depending upon the symptoms which he presents. The intensity of symptoms which he presents. And I know when to go back to his GCS or when to go back to his state remedy. So this is not even an acute remedy because he's going to require this for at least a month. And we know when to change the remedy. So this is how the transits, or this is how when and how to change the remedy, it helps me. So first we come to GCS, like I had showed you, what is the birth chart. So how do you analyze astrologically? After taking a case history, you have repertorized the case, and in the repertory sheet you have got some conclusion. This you have got 4 or 5 remedies which you are thinking about. Then when you analyze astrologically the patient, first of all you need the birth details. You see horoscope, that is the birth chart, GCS. A very simple methodology. See which house has got maximum planets. Then see which element is dominant in the person, whether it is fire, earth, wind, or air, and which sign is dominant. So we'll go through every point in details. So you don't know astrology, you have got a software. So for example, in the previous slide, like I had shown you this transit chart, from this chart you know that okay, 6th house is dominant in this person. So I just need to understand characteristics of 6th house. I need to understand characteristics of Aries, or Aries is a fiery sign. I mix this two, you get a remedy. So only on these two concepts, that okay, he is 6th house dominant, he has got many planets in his 6th house, and his fire element is prominent. So 6th house prominent means he feels he's surrounded by enemies, he feels anxiety about disease, he gets acidity, he feels he can, because it's a fiery sign, industrious, ambitious, egotism, and all synonyms related to that. You put it in repertory, you get the remedy Nux vomica, Lycopodium. Lycopodium is more of a psychotic remedy. Nux vomica is more of a soric remedy. Aries is a movable soric sign. You give Nux vomica. It becomes as simple as that. It's from 2 minutes. If you just understand this, you can prescribe a remedy. Then you see ascendant. Ascendant means the first house lord, and which planets are present in ascendant. Means my first house is me. So any planets which are present in the first house will affect my personality. It is me, it is my personality. So it will affect my personality, it will affect my health, it will affect my nature. So this is first house is personality. Then see the ascendant lord in which house sign. Okay, this is in this order. Means if you have got this first 3-4 elements which are prominent in the chart, you can prescribe only on these. You don't need to go in all these details. Then moon which signifies your mind. See which planets are influencing the moon and in which house moon is present. And last and foremost, see which planets are strong and which planets are weak in that chart. So if you are able to analyze a case in this fashion, like how we were taught in our college, first mental, emotional symptom, mental, intellectual symptoms, dream, aversions, craving, thirst, thermal, then physical particulars. So in this order, only you have to go through a chart, or you have to understand a chart. But if there are first 3-4 points, like what we do in our practice is 3-legged stool method or keynote method. So you know there are 3 points which are very dominant in a chart, or 3 characteristics which are very dominant in your chart. You can prescribe or you can understand the case on that basis. So you have got a history of a patient, and you know, okay, Baba, you have to differentiate between Lyco and Nux, like the case I told you before. So it is a fiery sign, it's not an earthy sign, fire more prominent, so I'll give Nux more than Lycopodium. So it becomes simple at that level. So now this is the birth chart, or this is the Lagna chart. So all of I have taught you, I've shown you this chart before. The first house is you, your personality, your head. So any planet present in the first house will have the most influence on your personality. So if you have got planets in the first house, first and foremost thing, take that. That would be the most important thing. And the moon placement, or planets with moon. I'll just quickly go through it because I have to finish, to close this in 3 hours. 13 years of what I have learned, it's not going to be easy. But then if you go through this video at least 5 times, 7 times, I'm 101% sure you will be able to prescribe a remedy, or you will be able to understand. Prescription I do, I want you to understand the remedy. Bas. That's the understand the person, that's all. So first house is you, second house is your family, or throat, teeth, eyes. Third house is your shoulder, hands, ear, or your siblings. It's your courage. It's also your communication. Fourth house is your mother, chest, heart, your house of comfort. So any planets in the fourth house will affect your house of comfort. So it could be positive, negative. Same way, you just need to understand these 12 houses and planets present. You know what is making you comfortable, what is making you uncomfortable. Now, one more hint. If you have got majority planets in your left side of your chart, this means you are towards family, or you are emotional, or you are home dependent. Means you are more related, means your life revolves around your family, your relatives, your house, your emotions. Right side of your chart is your career, is your work. So how do we analyze a case? Also, whether you have got a left brain dominant or right brain dominant person. So right side, like right-sided complaint, we always say it is work related, it is father related. So you will get right-sided complaints. And left-sided complaints are emotion related, mother related, family related. So you will have left-sided complaints. So this is also very accurate when you analyze a chart. So you want to know whether he's a left-sided person or a right-sided person. You can be very sure from this chart. If he has got many more planets in the left side, you know he's a left-sided person, he's an emotional person. If there are many planets in the right side, you know he's an egoistic person, he's a dominating person, he's a workaholic person, or he's a practical person. So if a person comes to you and he has got majority planets in the left side and he says, I'm a very dominating, I am a very practical person, take it with a pinch of salt. Sensitivity element is going to be there. So like I told you, 4th house is your mother, is your house of comforts. 5th house is your children. 6th house is your uncles, or or your enemies. 7th house is your spouse, is your partner. So it is your pelvis, intestines, kidneys. 8th house is house of secrets. So it is your sexual organs, male, female, rectum. 9th house is your hips. It is your tradition. It is your luck. It is your strength. 10th house is the house of career. It is the house of karma. It is whatever you do, you will reap. 11th house is the house of gains. And 12th house is the house of loss, or spirituality, or death. So this is in a nutshell. This is everything I have written. So you can take a screenshot of this, or you can go through the video. So everything is whatever each house, what it represents, is given in this chart. So now, if you have got first step, which I go through, just see the chart for a minute and you know which element is dominant in his chart. So there are 4 elements. One is fire, second is earth, third is wind, and fourth is water. So these are 4 elements. Even in Ayurveda, they have this siddhanta that your body, Vat, Pitta, you're made it of. Same way in astrology, you've got these 4 elements on which your whole personality is based, or you get diseases or you don't get diseases depending upon this element which is strong. So fire element basically means it is the ATP, it is the domination, it is the fire in you, it is the ambition in you. So if you have got fire element dominant, or if you don't have fire element dominant, so if fire element dominant is there, that means what? Fiery signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These 3 signs are fiery signs. So 1, 5, 9. So now this 159 can be anywhere in the chart. But if you have got majority planets in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, means that you have got fire element dominant. So how is your personality going to become? You're going to become egoistic, you will be industrious, you will be ambitious, always want to be on the move, will be dominating, activity desires, and diligence or conscientiousness will be marked in your personality. So if a person has fire element dominant, let's say you get an autistic child, you get a hyperactive child dominant, then he needs to be more active. You have to tell him to put him in sports. The more he expels his energy, stronger would be, he will improve faster. So this theory I have used in especially hyperactive autistic children, ADHD children. I have told them to put them in football or cricket or any activity which helps them to expel a lot of energy. And they improve significantly. Their concentration improves significantly. Their eye-to-eye contact improves significantly. And in a reverse fashion, if they don't have this dominant, then you cannot tell them to, okay, do this. Be active, be in sports, be physically, just go on moving. No, they are not going to do that. In fact, that will create more problems for them. So they have to sit at home and they have to concentrate on puzzles. They have to concentrate on drawing. They will have to concentrate on indoor activities. Only then they will improve. So this helped me in occupational therapy, in people who go for speech therapy, what they have to do, what they don't have to do, or in what things the child can concentrate. So now if I just put it in rubrics form, like you have got one chart, in A chart, you analyzed your case, then in B chart, according to the fire dominant, you put in rubrics. You can put in 1, 2, 3 rubrics according to the case which you feel, or in your A chart, you can just put this rubric as eliminating, or you can put this rubric as 3 marks rubrics. And the drug which comes up, which will be most probably his constitutional remedy. So like I have put, according to the chart, I have tried to put all synonym rubrics or cross-reference rubrics, means egotism, industrious, conscientious about trifles, and mind ambition, much ambitious. So drugs which are coming up, who have got fire dominant more prominent, are Naxomica, Veretramal, Lipo, Sulfur, Lacasse, Staph, Aurum. So in your history, if you see fire dominant prominent and you feel he's industrious, just put that rubric as 3 marks or 5 marks. Just put that rubric as 3 marks or 5 marks. And you analyze a case according to expert system or according to weightage system, and chances of you differentiating or getting the right remedy improves significantly. So this is about fire element. Next, you have earth element. So fire element has all to do with your ATP, with your testosterone, with your strength, with your dominance. Earth element, fire element, you can tell it is Kshatriya, or caste wise you can say they are Kshatriya caste, the warrior caste, the dominating caste, the king, the people. When you get the earth element, which is dominant in you, then you are Vaishnav, basically the business class. So if any person who has got earth element as very dominant, you will always find him to be a Vaishnav caste, according to his chart, not according to his caste. Or these people who are more inclined towards money matters, more inclined towards security, are more grounded people. Their main feeling, they main revolve around money matters or property. For them, this becomes the most important thing. So which are the earth element signs? They are Taurus, number 2, Virgo, number 6, and Capricorn, number 10. We also called it earth element or Artha Trikon. The first was Dharma Trikon. So who enforces Dharma? King enforces Dharma. So Kshatriya caste. So king qualities. Earth element, Artha Trikon means the business class. Vaishnavas, Vishnu rulers, the sustainers. So when you have got majority planets in Taurus, Virgo, so you will consider the person to be earth dominant, or you will consider the person to be a mineral remedy. Chances of him being a mineral remedy increases significantly. Or a remedy which has come from the ground, not plants, because the predominant miasm becomes psychosis. So the rubrics usually you will find in earth element people are, they have got anxiety about money matters, fear of poverty, business aptitude. They're usually cautious in nature. They can be industrious. They can be fastidious. They are particular. There is a fear of loss. So the holding capacity. And they are workaholic. They are hardworking usually. So second house people will work more for money. Sixth house people will work because they are cautious in nature. They feel they have got a fear of their job, insecurity related to job. And 10th house people, they are always, they just want to do work. They believe in karmavadi. If I work, I will get money. If I don't work, I will not get money. I just have to go on working. But in earth element, it was dominance was power. Here the dominance is security and money. So the difference between fire and earth element is this. So fire element, you will find metals. You can find acute remedies like belladonna also in fire element. Fast-paced remedies. You will need remedies which are fast-paced. In earth element, they are slow spaces. So the diseases are also slow. Fire element, repetition of medicine. You don't need to repeat much. You are going to prescribe remedies in higher potencies. Earth element, moderate or low potencies, they may require more of repetition. Because they are hard people. You need they're difficult, like calcarea floor. In plant remedy, you get bryonia, but the theme is again money. The theme is again insecurity related to money matters. So again, the same way you analyze your drug, you analyze your patient, then you will, out of the rubrics which you have seen, you will be putting any of this rubric as 3 marks or 4 marks. So I've taken the synonym rubrics, that anxiety about money matters, let's say mind cautious, fear of poverty, fastidiousness. So the main drugs which are coming up are arsenic, graphitis, calcarea floor. Calcarea also, pulse is also coming up, but then money part is not there in that case, and it is just 2 marks. So even aurum can come up, but if it is a diligent. So calcarea silicata, bryonia. So these remedies will come up very strongly as far as earth element. So again, I'm repeating. So you will be considering, you will be taking 1 or 2 symptoms from the chart, means Earth dominant chart, will be putting it 3 marks, and the remedy which comes on the top, you can prescribe. Third element, which is dominant, is wind element, or in Ayurveda, we call Vat. So wind element means that, let's say you're gone with the wind. There are no head and tail of symptoms. It is hysteria. Today I'm complaining in the right hand, tomorrow I'll be complaining in left hand. Then you get this asafoetida type of, like, where if I press anywhere in my joints, I will have belching complaints. So wind element, majority planets are in Gemini. 1 second. Oh, this is wrong. This chart is wrong. 1 moment. We don't. This is water element by mistake. See, wind element means you have got majority planets in 3. That is Gemini. 7. That is Libra. See my mouse pointer. 3 is Gemini. 7 is Libra. And 11 number, that is Aquarius. So when you got majority planets in 3, 7, 11, that is, majority planets in 3, 7, 11, that is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Then you have got wind dominant person. Just don't look at this chart. So it is 3, 7, 11. That is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Miasm predominantly is tubercular and syphilis. So first remedies you should think about when you are a wind dominant person is hysterical. Or people who are creative, who are communicative, who want appreciation, who are actors, who are intellectuals, who are manipulative, who are salesperson. So wind element means who can be very, it can be like phosphorus, it can be like sulfur, it can be bromium, it can be cannabis, it can be opium. So lot of drug remedies will come up in wind dominant people. There is usually no head and tail to their complaints, and they just go on lachesis. Animal remedies, because appreciation, jealousy, possessiveness all comes under syphilitic jealousy, syphilitic appreciations. This comes under wind element. So then if you put it in rubric forms, so you have got communicative, you have got loquacity, you have got cheerful, gay, happy, witty, vivacious. So any of the symptom you get in your chart, the main remedies which are coming up are lachesis, opium, stramonium, crocus, coffea. Main remedies which are coming up are this: lachesis, opium, stramonium, crocus, coffea, cannabis indica, veratrum, thea, alcoholic, belladonna. See, all drug elements and animal remedies which are coming up. So this becomes one of the most easiest prescription, especially for wind element. So, like I told you, the main dominant miasm become tubercular or syphilis. Majority planets in Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and you find animal and drug remedies which are very strong. So you take the rubric, 3 marks, either of this, either of in your repertory sheet, and you come to a conclusion. So just seeing the chart and seeing that, okay, wind is dominant, you know for 101% sure, you're very sure that chances of a drug remedy or an animal remedy comes up very strongly in this type of cases. Fourth element, this is the moksha trikona or the water element dominant person. We call this moksha trikona. So moksha trikona means these are spiritual people usually. 4, 8, 12. It is the water element becomes very, it's dominant in these people. Now 70% of our constitution, 70 I think, so it is 90 is made up of water. So we are dominated by moon. So like we have got high tide, low tide, amavasya, new moon, full moon, our moods change. We have got so many remedies which have got full moon aggravation, new moon aggravation. So if a water remedy is dominant in a person, take first rubric, full moon or new moon aggravation. They will have it 101%. So this would be one of the most eliminating symptoms for water dominant people. Water dominant people have chances of serious diseases like cancer. So in contrast to many people who said, okay, you will require metals in cancer, you will require minerals in cancer, I have got the best results past 7 to 8 years for cancer is plant remedies. Plant remedies work best in cancers. So if you go through repertory also, you will surprisingly you will find majority are plant remedies, and we were taught in our college days, okay, think of heavy metals, think of minerals. While heavy metals are more, I have found it work more in kidney patient, in CRF, in chronic renal failure, where it is psychosis. That is the main element which is present, or the earth element is present. While when you see water element, chances of him getting a serious disease increases significantly. In wind element, you have mental problems, Alzheimer's, dementia. This is wind element. Again, in that cases, you can require metals, or you can require remedies like zinc. In water elements, conaium, phytoleca, lycopodium, nux, belladonna, these all remedies have worked in cancers, pulsatilla, even pulsatilla, with wonderful results. And if you repertoire, you will see there are so many plant remedies which are coming in water element, which we don't use just because it is cancer. So use plant remedies and you will find excellent results, because see, cancer travels through blood. Cancer travels to the lymphatics. Cancer travels to the water element. And water, that is why water element dominant or moon dominant people, they will have cancer, the chances of them getting, because they are subjected to anger, vexation, indignation. Their mind affection is very strong. They are very emotional persons. So if emotions are suppressed continuously, it may be at a physical level, it may be at a mental level. The theory of suppression, which you learned from Sir, Dr. Vijaykar sir. These are the people who have chances of suppression more compared to Earth element, because they are already physically very strong. They are dry people, they are practical people. Chances of separation are very less. So you find laborers, they go on taking injection, and they live for 80 years, 90 years. They take so many allopathic medicines. They don't land up in any issues. But a water element dominant person, either a psychiatric illness or something syphilitic, like cancers. Now, cancer is also soric. Cancer also means sora. That is what we have learned. But layman term, or when we think of a destruction, we label it syphilis. But cancer contains all three miasms. So water sign becomes most important in cancer. So if you got anybody, you see a patient who has cancer, who has a psychological disorder, see water element. So water element means what? Majority planets in cancer. That is, problem could be related to mother, affection, Scorpio, that is 8th sign. Problem could be related to vexation, indignation, mortification, suppression, grief. Pisces, problem related to indecisiveness. They want to be spiritual, but they are trapped in worldly things. They want to get out of the world, but they are trapped. So there is confusion, Pisces. But the most important element which I found for cancer is, of course, cancer. That is problem related to affection. And 8th house Scorpio, problem related to indignation, vexation, mortification. These are how they are subjected to. So if I repertorize, if I took this synonyms and I took this rubrics. So if we take sentimental, if we take hatred, revenge, offended easily, oversensitive to reprimands, oversensitive to issues. So you are finding remedy like nitric acid, phosphoric acid, natrum, hepar, ignatia, staphylos aureus, lachesis, phosphorus, chamomilla. So I have seen Conam, one of the most important drugs which I prescribe is for celibacy. Pisces related problem, where they are forced into religion, or they are forced to be bachelors, and they'll end up in cancers, breast cancers or prostate cancers. One of the most important remedy, ignatia, I have given in cancers, where there is disappointment. Staphylos aureus, I use it commonly, 8th house, Scorpio related issues, vexation, indignation, works best in LM potency. Excellent results with Staphylos aureus. Okay, Dr. Shri Krishna will take up questions after we do elements. Okay, we can take. So we have finished elements. So Dr. Sai, just stop share here. So first part, it is over. So Dr. Sai Krishna, he said that I have seen a case of person with 6th house moon being in Scorpio, of Gemini ascendant. He actually was disgraced because of mother's immoral act, landed up in lymphoblastic leukemia. He always seemed to be practical, but as you taught now, could understand sensitivity behind cancer. Okay, see, now this is a live example. So Scorpio, one of the most difficult signs to understand, extremely sensitive, they will behave as metals. and you will prescribe a metal, but no, they may require a plant remedy or an animal remedy. Okay, doctor, I gave palladium, it failed. Yeah, it will fail. Palladium will not work, but Lyco works. See, again, a plant remedy. So watery sign think about plant. First is plants, second is animals. Wind element, think of animals, then plants. Earth tricone or what I was saying. Earth element. Earth element, think of first remedies are minerals. And fiery, think of acute remedies like belladonna, stramonium, aconite, and ambitious remedies like nuts, fast pace remedies. You need a fast pace. Like again, single dose or minimum repetition, fiery element, earth element, moderate potency or lower potency, frequent repetition, wind element, high potencies or LM potencies, frequent repetition, and watery element, similar, high potency or LM potency, frequent repetition. This is my experience. Like Conam, I always given in LM potency. Staphysagra, I always given in LM potency. Past 5 to 6 years, and it has given me fantastic results. Rustox, I have given in LM potency. Fantastic results. So, any questions? Then we will go to the next topic. So, have you all understood the earth elements? So, you can put it in chat. Means you can write it so that I will be able to answer. Any questions till now? What we have learned? Okay, we'll just take a 5 minutes break. You all be